Today I'm in South Lake Tahoe, South Lake Tahoe area for what I'm calling a redemption hike. So last year, 2017, I thru-hiked the Pacific Crest Trail, which is known as the year of ice and fire, because there was a huge snowpack that year, a dangerous snowpack in the Sierra, and then once we hit Northern California, it was forest fires everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. But I added an extra little challenge to my hike that year, in that just outside of South Lake Tahoe, I fell and I split my knee open. There was a little bit of residual snow left, and I was crossing it, and I saw some people I'd just met talking to some people that I had hiked in the Sierra with. So I was really excited to go see them and talk to them. And there's a little bit of a slope to go down at the end of the snowfield, and I was boot skiing, which is just what it sounds like, and I hit something at the bottom that made my momentum shift, and I kind of went sideways and then went like knee first into a rock, and I split my knee open, and I had to come off trail and get sutures. I was off trail for about 3 days. I went back down to Southern California, went to the beach to go to the beach in the summer. Probably not the best thing to do with fresh sutures, but 3 days off the trail, came back, and then I hiked 250 miles with sutures in my knee, and then I took them out in Lassen National Park while I was doing laundry. So my goal today is to rehike that section where I fell and split my knee open, and hopefully make it through without incident. So this is what the scar looks like today. It's a big ugly scar. When I stand up, it kind of just looks like a fold of skin in my knee. It did shrink a little bit because that's what scars do, but it's fully healed, and hoping it stays that way. So this is Echo Lake, where I'm starting. It's kind of hazy. There aren't any wildfires right here, but we're clearly getting smoke from some of the surrounding area. There's a ferry that will ferry people across later in the day, but I'm going to walk the side of the lake. Just got my day use permit for the backcountry. I'm not through hiking this. In this section, it's the PCT and the Tahoe Rim Trail. So first step is to make it around this first lake. I'm now partway around the lower Echo Lake, and it's really too bad about these wildfire haze. Does take away some of the magic of this area. All these lakes around South Lake Tahoe are just gorgeous mountain lakes, and it's usually a little bit more stunning than this. I mean, it's still pretty, but usually a little bit more, I would call, breathtaking. So just got to make my way around this lake. Again, if you're coming here as a tourist, there is a boat that will take you across, but the trail is very lovely and just goes right next to the lake itself. So I've got this lake, I've got Upper Echo Lake, I've got what I remember is not a fun uphill climb, and then I should be getting to Lake Aloha. Wow, this is looking back across the Echo Lakes. It is smoky. I can even smell the fires. I checked the fire map, there's no fires nearby. Must be smoke being blown in from one of those really big fires, because that smoke can travel quite a distance. I'm just kind of impressed that it still smells distinctly like fire, even though there's no fire near here. But still heading up. I have crested the uphill section past Echo Lakes, and now I'm headed towards Lake Aloha, one of the prettiest lakes in the area, in my opinion. But nice shaded section. Got like some wildflowers growing on the side, and smoke's cleared up a little bit. So you can see the sky's a little bit more blue. Hopefully I kind of just walked out of the smoky section. But next up is Lake Aloha, and last year on the trip everything was going good at this point. Still have a couple miles to where the incident happened. Got our first glimpse at Lake Aloha. It looks like it's a little smoked out, but gonna be taking the trail this way down to the shore. These are the shores of Lake Aloha. It's too bad it's all smoky from the fires, because otherwise it's usually blue skies and absolutely crystal clear water. It doesn't look so crystal clear right now, but when the sun's out it does. Last year there was snow on the banks still. There's some snow up on the mountains, but not down here by the lake. So within a couple miles of where the incident happened, and I'm assuming there's not going to be any snow there this year. Just walking the last bit of shores from Lake Aloha. It goes way, way back there. You can see even with the smoke, it's very pretty. And then the trail's been following it along these rocks for a while. We're about to turn away from it though, and I'm gonna search for the 1100 mile marker on the PCT. I didn't see it last year because it was that area was covered in snow. I'm pretty sure this area was covered in snow too. I'm pretty sure I was just in and out of snow all throughout this section. You can kind of get an idea how clear the water is right there. But too bad it's all smoky. It's a beautiful area. It's still pretty when it's smoky, but imagine when it's clear. Gorgeous. Here it is, 1100 miles. So if you were going north on the PCT, you will have gone 1,100 miles, and you're not even halfway, so keep going. No joke, this was completely covered in snow last year on this day. This is the 1-year anniversary of my accident. Lots of nice wildflowers here this year. Seriously, this was all white last year. And now now it's all green. I ended up making this out of pine cones myself on the snow, but that's nice and pretty without the snow. It should be, I'm gonna guess, a mile or within a mile to where I fell. I hope I recognize it because there's not going to be a snow patch this year, but should be getting close. You know what? This may have been it. I can remember we were right on the edge of a forest. So all of this was snow. Just complete snow. I may have actually been coming from over there, I'm not sure. It was just a snowfield. And the snowfield ended around here, and there was a big downward slope, and I hit something at the bottom of the slope, went a couple steps into any one of these sharp, jagged rocks right here. So I didn't think anything was wrong at first, and yeah, I think it was like right here. I didn't think anything was wrong at first, and God, this has to be it. Yeah, so I was coming down that slope, and somebody suggested that I check my knee out because I had a tear on my knee. Just gonna sit here for a second. I had a tear on my knee, so I looked at my knee, and inside the tear was some jagged flesh. So I took it out, and yeah, it was split all the way open. So one of the other hikers, it was a former EMT, and she did some first aid. Another hiker carried my pack, and another hiker found the exit trail at Glen Alpine, which is where I'm headed to get at. So I'm pretty sure this is the area I was in. I'm pretty sure this is about where I was sitting to try and overcome my nausea. Actually, I think this is where the slope came down, right here. Came down, and I sat here for a while, and then I was in people's way, and then I went and sat over there until the nausea passed enough for me to hike out. So as long as I make it past this, I will have successfully redeemed my hike from last year. But yeah, I think this is where it happened. Looks so different though. There's absolutely no snow. So that would have been the slope right there. This gorgeousness is Susie Lake. I actually get to enjoy it this time instead of worrying about hobbling to my campsite. This is a really pretty lake. It's got some nice tree islands in the middle, nice flat reflections. It's nice and clear. I wish I could have enjoyed it last year. Got some flowers, and we'll turn and take a look at it one more time. Passing even more pretty lakes and pretty peaks. I honestly don't remember this, so I'm glad I'm coming back this year and redoing this so I can actually see what it looked like. I should be coming up on the campsite that we used pretty soon, and I'll stop there and reminisce. But in the meantime, so many lakes and little bodies of water I'm going by. Really pretty. Too bad I missed it last year. I just found the area that we used for our campsite for the night. I can't believe we fit as many tents in here as we did. There was less vegetation at the time. But this is also where I saw my first bear. So I was sitting right here on this log, and I see something slinking behind me, and it's the bear. And it's like, it's really close. It was by one of these logs. I'll have to go back and look at my pictures. But I set my tent up, I think just right here. And this is where we spent the night. Alright, so now I'm on the next day's section where I hike out. Coming up on the trail sign for Glen Alpine. Let's see, the other way is Gilmore Lake, and that used to be the PCT symbol right there. So it's written here in Sharpie, PCT is this way, but I'm going to Glen Alpine this way. When we found this exit trail, we thought it was for a resort, Glen Alpine Resort. It used to be a resort, now it is a ruin. So I'll probably show you that when we get down there. But exiting the PCT and bailing out. But this is also a very beautiful trail. Goes through the woods, passes meadows, goes down some rocks. There's a waterfall near the bottom. So, but starting to finish my day. This is on the Glen Alpine Trail, and it's nowhere near what it was last year, but I also wanted to point out that with my knee injury, I had to do several log crossings of creeks. It's funny because walking this trail again, I kind of wonder how well, water's so low right now, I could just walk across the rocks, but like, it's hard for me to believe that I was able to do all this stuff with a knee that wasn't working, because you know, this is not even terrain, and then you know, I've been kind of sliding on some of the rocks as it is, you know, and then with the log crossings too, with much more water flow going through those water sources. I think it was actually kind of impressive that I made it out here on my own 2 feet, but still heading down Glen Alpine, still ways to go. Leaving Desolation Wilderness. I must be getting closer to the former resort. I have now reached the old Glen Alpine Springs resort. Here's some old pictures. It's a early 1900s resort built because there is a carbonated spring here. I believe this is it right here. And you know, late 1800s, early 1900s, the mineral springs were, you know, a cure-all for everything. So this is the spring. It's called Soda Spring. It's actually springing up right now. It's carbonated water. I have not had the water from this spring. You can see it bubbling. I've not had the water from this spring. I have tried carbonated water from the soda spring by Tuolumne Meadows in Yosemite. Even through the filter, it retains its fizziness, but you can see it's kind of reddish around here. The one I had, so fizzy. The one I had tasted like iron-flavored LaCroix. So it's not great to drink, but you know, if you think it'll cure everything, you'll drink it. And then this is one of the older buildings. It's a nice glass windowed building, and that's the old resort. Here's the waterfall. Not sure what the name of it is. Probably Glen Alpine waterfall. Kind of comes down here. It's flowing a little bit less than it did last year, but that makes sense because there's less snow up there to feed the waterfall. So, almost to the trailhead. Almost there. Well, that's the trailhead. I managed to make it without falling and injuring myself. Last time I came out this trailhead, I was headed to the ER. This time I'm gonna get a nice cold beverage. But that's the end of my redemption hike. Hike redeemed.